champion of the world, Islam Makhachev.
Islam was my father's favorite student. He was like very favorite student. And I really believe he's gonna become champion. Why I talk about Islam? Because this is my father's legacy.
I'm grappling with Islam once and I try to throw him off, but he's still there. Next thing you know, I'm grappling at 100% because the dude's that strong.
I told you guys, one day I'm gonna come in here with my belt.
Islam gonna take him to the deep ocean and make him top. I told him, Islam on another level.
Yeah. There are fighters who chase greatness, and then there are those who are born into its shadow. Islam Makhachev never chose the comparison. It was waiting for him long before he ever stepped into the octagon. Long before the lights, the cameras, the roaring crowds, there was a small, rugged village in Dagestan where two boys grew up side by side under the watchful eye of a man who would shape the future of mixed martial arts.
Abdulmanap, you know, this is not like just coach, because coach, I mean, when you come to the gym, he do something for you, help you to training, but this man, he always think about his kids because, you know, Dagestan, this is not like a regular city.
They weren't brothers by blood, but in every way that mattered, they were family. One of them would become undefeated, untouchable, a global icon. The other would spend years trying to convince the world that he wasn't just a reflection of that legacy, but something more.
Can you talk about the first time you met Khabib? Because you guys were teenagers, right? You were very young.
When I was young, we went to school together. He older than me 3 years. I remember them. And we went to training together. Like first we go some Wushu stand-up, we training there. And I went to training wrestling. He training with his father couple years.
This is the story of Islam Makhachev and how he escaped the greatest shadow in MMA. In the mountains of Dagestan, fighting isn't a sport, it's a way of life. Cold mornings, hard surfaces, no excuses. That's where Islam Makhachev and Khabib Nurmagomedov grew up. Not as rivals, not as competitors, but as brothers forged through discipline. Every day they trained together, wrestled together, pushed each other beyond exhaustion.
We push each other very hard. Khabib has helped us very well, you know.
And above them stood one man, Khabib Nurmagomedov. To Khabib, he was a father. To Islam, he became something just as powerful, a second father. He didn't just teach them how to fight, he taught them how to think, how to suffer, how to win.
Together. And you guys all came from training in Dagestan with Khabib's father. Do you think about all the work that you guys all did together as a team as you're on the verge of this, and what it would mean to you to become another champion from that coaching tree?
This means for me a lot, you know. When we're training with our coach Abdulmanap, he always told me, you're gonna be champion, focus training, and this is what I did all my life. I'm training hard for this moment.
While other fighters were learning techniques, these boys were building identities. Khabib was the prodigy, the one everyone noticed first. Islam was always there too. Quieter, more reserved, watching, learning.
I'm not like so popular like Khabib, and maybe for future.
Many years in this game, first with Khabib, and he fought for sure the title, and when he have fight, and I always with him.
Khabib and you very good friends, but also both very competitive. If you both did fight, what would be the outcome?
But even then, the comparisons had already begun.
Islam, some people talk about it's not fair that everyone puts pressure on you to be the next Khabib. Do you like that people keep saying that, or he's Khabib, I'm Islam, let me have my own career?
He left an incredible legacy, one of the best to ever done it, maybe the best to ever done it.
If somebody say I'm like Khabib, I agree with this.
When Khabib began rising through the ranks, the world saw something it had never seen before. Relentless grappling, unbreakable pressure. A fighter who didn't just win, he dominated. And standing behind him, always in the corner, always in training camps, was Islam. To the outside world, he wasn't Islam Makhachev. He was just Khabib's training partner. a label that would follow him for years.
When people think about our connections, they don't understand one thing: we are not sparring partners. You know, a lot of people think we are sparring partners. We just met in gym, go home. You know, it's like happened in AK. Like when he was training, so many guys we know like 5, 6, 7 years, but we meet them only in gym. Our relationship is much different. We have brotherhood. We know each other 25 years.
This guy more professional. You know? This guy have very big experience in this sport.
When Islam finally made his way into the UFC, the expectations weren't his own. They were borrowed. Every introduction carried the same narrative. Another fighter from Khabib's team. Khabib's friend. Khabib's sparring partner. It didn't matter how he performed. It didn't matter how skilled he was. He wasn't being judged as an individual. He was being measured against a standard that had already been set. Impossibly high. And that kind of pressure doesn't just test your skills, it tests your identity.
Olympic Center we have in Russia is a big Olympic center. I did three weeks there.
I prepare myself for the hard fight. I always prepare myself for the hard fight.
At first, Islam did what he had always done. He worked. Fight by fight, he began building a record. Quietly, efficiently, dominantly. But the spotlight never fully shifted, because while Islam was winning, Khabib was becoming something else entirely. A global phenomenon. An undefeated champion. A man who would retire with a perfect record and a legacy that felt untouchable. And suddenly, Islam's journey became even more complicated. Because now, he wasn't just chasing greatness, he was chasing perfection.
Khabib is invincible now. I mean, he's undefeated. It was a perfect career. There is nothing we can say bad about him. It's a perfect career, like 29-0, top with the best performance of his career. The quality of a champion in terms of his performance, it was just unbelievable.
He have big experience in this sport. He know how it's working. That's why everybody, how he say, shut up and listen him and training. If you want to be champion, you have to follow the way what the champs did.
Then came the moment that changed everything. 2020. The world stood still. And in Dagestan, tragedy struck. Khabib Nurmagomedov, the man who built them, guided them, shaped them, was gone. COVID-19 took him away. For Khabib, it was the breaking point. For Islam, it was something deeper. It wasn't just the loss of a coach. It was the loss of a father figure. The loss of the foundation that had held everything together. And in that moment, everything changed.
But Abdulmanap always fix all problems. His student, he just say always, hey guys, you have to training hard and other things, what you have, you just told me and that's it. I'm gonna fix your all problems. But who training with Abdulmanap and now in the life in the street, this all good people. The people know them. This guy from Abdulmanap gym, that's why he have good discipline and he's a good guy.
Khabib fought one last time. One final performance, one final dominant victory. And then he walked away.
I want to say it was my last fight. And no way I'm gonna come here without my father.
Retired, undefeated, 29-0. The greatest lightweight the sport had ever seen. Just like that, the shadow didn't disappear. It grew even larger. Because now there was no more comparison in real time. There was only legacy, and Islam was left to carry it forward. But here's the thing about shadows. They only exist when there's light. And for the first time, the light was finally on Islam. No more sharing the spotlight. No more standing behind. No more being introduced as someone else's TMM Mate. Now, it was his turn. The climb wasn't easy. Every fight came with the same question. Is he as good as Khabib? Not better, not different, just compared. And that question followed him into every octagon, every press conference, every interview. But Islam never ran from it. He embraced it, because deep down he knew something the world didn't. He wasn't trying to be Khabib. He was trying to be something else, something new. Technically, Islam began to evolve. His striking sharpened, his timing improved, his control became even more precise. Where Khabib overwhelmed, Islam calculated. Where Khabib imposed, Islam adapted. The similarities were there, but so were the differences. And slowly, fight by fight, people began to notice. This wasn't just a copy. This was an evolution.
A lot of people coming. Thank you, brother.
That Khabib just brought you the belt and put it down there and said, because you're going to be champion one day.
I very waiting when he retired. I wanna fight for this belt. This is my dream.
Then came the moment that would define everything. A title opportunity, a chance to step into the same position Khabib once held. Lightweight champion. The weight of history was heavy, because winning wasn't enough. He had to prove something more, that he belonged there, that he earned it, that he wasn't just filling a vacancy left behind. And when the moment came, Islam delivered. Dominant, composed, relentless. He became champion. For a brief moment, the comparisons softened. Not disappeared, but softened. Because now Islam had something of his own. A title, a legacy beginning to take shape. But even then, the question remained. Can he surpass Khabib?
I'm the best fighter in the world right now. I'm not choice opponent. Make my weight, step to the cage, and we will see.
Most fighters would be satisfied. Champion, legacy secured. But Islam wasn't most fighters because the shadow he grew up in didn't allow for comfort. It demanded more. So he kept going, defending his belt, taking on new challenges, expanding his skill set. And with every performance, the narrative began to shift. Not just Khabib's training partner, not just the next Khabib, but something else entirely. A champion in his own right.
How important is Khabib been to you, not only as a training partner, a coach, but as friend, a brother, family?
You know, it's big things when you have some people around who you believe is the important things. The people who are around you, they have to be trust with you, and they have to wish you what, they have to wish you to you what he want to himself. That's why I'm really happy for have Khabib in my camp, in my corners, in my life also.
And then came the unthinkable, a move that would separate him completely. A step beyond what Khabib had done. A second belt, a second division, a second challenge. The kind of risk that defines legacies. Because this wasn't about proving he was as good as Khabib anymore. This was about proving he could go further. The fight was different. Bigger opponents, new dynamics, new dangers, but the same composure remained, the same discipline, the same quiet confidence that had been built over decades. And when the moment came, he didn't just win, he made history, a double champion, something Khabib never became.
Now I'm a champion and everybody want to take my belt, but I'm gonna defend all the time.
And just like that, and the shadow changed. It didn't disappear, it never will. Because greatness like Khabib's doesn't fade. But for the first time, Islam wasn't standing behind it. He was standing beside it. But the most powerful moment didn't happen in the octagon. It happened outside of it. In silence, in reflection, in the eyes of the man who had once led the way. Khabib Nurmagomedov, watching, observing,
There and Khabib, they block my striking. I can strike with anyone, but they say, hey, take him down, hold him. Why you have to go hard,
We saw the video that was posted. Khabib is coaching and he's telling people, if you cry, go ahead. If you're gonna quit, go ahead. Is he like that with you also, or is that just something for other people?
Now Khabib retired, but he pushed all guys from team. Sometimes he pushed too much because he rest, he not training, and he don't understand. He doesn't understand how they hard. And we finished training, but he still gives some extra size. Now he push everybody.
not as a competitor, but as a brother. Because for all the comparisons, all the pressure, all the expectations, this was never a rivalry. It was a journey, shared, connected, built on years of trust and sacrifice. And in that moment, there was no shadow. There was only pride. Islam Makhachev didn't escape Khabib's shadow by running from it. He didn't reject it. He didn't deny it. He embraced it, carried it, learned from it. And then he grew beyond it. Because sometimes the greatest shadows don't hold you back. They shape you, they push you, they force you to become something greater than you ever imagined. And in the end, Islam didn't just step out of Khabib's shadow. He proved that even legends, can be surpassed.